for a long time, I've been okay. I could walk. I have a muscle wasting disease called Charcot-Marie-Tooth disease. And as I've got older, my mobility's got less and less. And I was having to have a lot of operations, and I wasn't strong enough to use sticks, proper crutches and things. And so I had to have a manual wheelchair. And I used that to get around while I was in casts. I'd got both my legs in plaster and things like that. And so I had to use that until I could walk again. Then I got to the point where I was walking with sticks. And I've been trying for years to carry on the way I was, but I got to a point where I was taking my father to hospital every day, or going to see him because he was in hospital. And I got tireder and tireder. And while I was at the hospital, I had 2 really bad falls, and I ended up in A&E. I smashed my head at the wall. I had damaged my shoulder, my arm, and this was shortly before I was going away on holiday. And I ended up having flashbacks of my falling and frightened. And I didn't want to walk anymore on anywhere, long distances. And Derby Hospital was getting bigger and bigger by the minute to me. And I kept seeing myself falling. And so I was frightened of walking any distances again. Mm-hmm. And my husband said, right, well, you get to the point now where you need the wheelchair. And that's why I ended up looking it out and finding you. So,
why did you choose an Etech Mobility electric wheelchair?
Well, I'd had a look on the internet at all the different ones, and it was kind of an emergency to have one there and then. And so I was just looking through, and you were close at one thing, but it was the information you gave, and literally the specs, everything. I knew what to expect. And I looked, I called up different film clips of different wheelchairs and things like that. So I knew what to look for. And you were basically very, very close to me, which was a great thing. And because you also got at me the next day. Yeah.
So you mentioned you've been looking online.
Yeah.
But is there anything specific that attracted you to the Etech Mobility electric wheelchair?
Yes, because they look different. I didn't want the wheelchair to look like the wheelchair. And they've started to look different now, and they look better. They look modern. And so that was the thing I liked about them the most as well. Yeah, I like the design of it.
Is there a particular feature on there that you like? Is it comfort, or is it the ride, the journey, or is it just how it looks that you prefer?
Not just the looks, no. The comfort, because I had the reclining one, and the sponges on those and everything are really comfortable. I was sitting in it most of the day when I was on holiday, and so it was a really good chair. Yeah.
So you mentioned that you've been on holiday.
Yes.
Where did you end up going?
Went to Cornwall.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And who did you go with?
I went with my family. I went with my husband, my daughter, son-in-law, and my grandson.
Oh, wow. So how was the experience for them as well as yourself?
A lot easier, to be perfectly honest. My mobility has been getting worse over years. And this time I'd had a fall. Well, I'd had 2 falls not long before we went away. And I wasn't sure that I'd be able to walk around. So I thought I was going to have a holiday where I couldn't do a lot. Had the wheelchair. I got everywhere that they did. It was fantastic, yeah. We went to the Maritime Museum, yeah. I even took it down into St Ives. If anybody knows St Ives, the roads there are cobbled and everything. it went over everything. It went over the cobbles, it went over the sidewalks that got sand on them and everything. It went up the hills, everything. Even went on a bus with me.
Oh wow, okay.
Yeah, even
So so you could take a wheelchair onto the bus as well now.
Yeah. They lower the bus down to the pavement level, put a ramp on, and I wheeled onto the bus. Nearly took a man's legs off, but I did it.
And in terms of kind of what things have changed during your life since using the wheelchair, what would you say has changed?
My mindset has changed. I was looking at all the things I can't do. Now I'm looking at the things that I can do, and it's given me the freedom to get around again. And I'm not frightened, because if I think I'm going to go into a situation where I might fall again, or I feel the same way I felt when I did fall, which was very, very tired, then I know I can fall back on the chair, and it's brilliant. It's brilliant, yeah. I wouldn't be without it now. Yeah.
Okay, so yes, Cindy, you kind of mentioned that you go to the hospitals in Derby, you've had that fear before of the falls and things like that.
Yeah.
So if there was a new user
Yes.
and they had that same sort of fear,
Yeah.
what would you kind of recommend to them? Or do you have any advice for them to kind of get over that fear and try something like an electric wheelchair?
Yeah, I would definitely say it will get you back moving, and it does eventually. The fear does subside. You'd stop having the flashbacks, and it just basically you can carry on. You can carry on with a chair. I felt like I'd lost me for a while. The flashbacks will go. You just got to trust your wheelchair more than anything, and trust yourself. Take whatever precautions you need to make sure you don't fall, or try not to fall. Also, don't over watch yourself, because you're trying to figure out your walking, and you're not looking at anything else then. So you put yourself in danger again then. So
you mentioned trust. So would you say kind of confidence is a big thing?
Very, very. I had no confidence at all after my falls. Yeah. I had no confidence in myself.
Yeah.
I ended up crying a lot.
Yeah.
I was frightened. I was definitely frightened to go out and walk around a shop or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
But obviously having the wheelchair has just made such a big difference.
Yeah.
Which has made everything else different now.
Yeah.
I've got more confidence again now in myself again. It was frightening. It was a frightening time. And also admitting that I needed a wheelchair, an electric wheelchair. It meant that I was giving up another part of myself.
Mm-hmm.
And with this disease, little things happen, and then big things happen, and then little things happen. So you're losing a part of yourself all the time. And you have to mourn those parts, really, that you're never going to be able to do, a certain thing again that you could do in the past, So, yeah.
As someone that's probably watching this today is probably in the same boat as you, and kind of understands that it's difficult to accept that you may need an electric wheelchair, but it's not the end of the world.
It isn't. Well, no, it's the beginning of a new world.
Yeah.
It's the beginning of a new you, because it's something that you couldn't do. You can now do with a wheelchair.
Yeah.
You can go out. You haven't got to start thinking, well, if I go so far, I can do this. I can go where everybody else goes.
Yeah.
And I'm not keeping anyone else back now.
Yeah.
I'm going with them and doing the same things, And so it's just that I'm sitting down while they're walking. Yeah. Who's the one getting tired? It's not me.
So do you have a final message for anyone that's watching today?
Yeah, definitely. Don't give up. Don't give up. If you find yourself having to take on a wheelchair and your life is changing, take it as a positive. The wheelchair gives you back your independence. The wheelchair gives you back your independence, it gives you back your life. So definitely just embrace it and go with it. It's great. It's great. It's given me my life back. So yeah.
That's brilliant.
There you go.
That's brilliant, Cindy. Thank you so much.
Okay.
Thank you for being with us today. And I'm sure you've helped out a lot of people and perhaps even given them the confidence to purchase an electric wheelchair from Etech Mobility.
Hopefully. Yeah.